Welcome. Today is a very special episode, a Champagne Charlas with a very good friend and an amazing lady. I'm sharing a heartfelt conversation I had with Sonia Flores, where we talk all about being empty nesters, what that season of life brings, and how we can embrace it with purpose and joy. And honestly, the timing couldn't be more perfect. I just returned from Parents' Weekend at my daughter's university, and to say it wasn't emotional would not be telling the truth. While I was packing for this trip, it brought back memories of packing as a little girl with my mom and sisters for our trips to Hawaii to visit my grandparents. That same mix of excitement and anticipation. This visit was especially meaningful because it's been the longest we've been apart, 6 weeks, and I was so excited to see her. I thought I was fine on the way home until I got closer and the tears just came back. So, yes, this conversation with Sonia feels perfectly timed. Sonia is a dear friend I met through Jessica Rachel's community, and she's truly inspiring. She's a holistic business coach, podcast producer, and intuitive advisor who helps women create and scale soul aligned businesses rooted in clarity, energy, and purpose without burning out in the process. She's also the host of the Modern Latina in Midlife podcast. And you can find her and her work at bluechakrastudio.com. So grab your glass of champagne, get comfy, and join us for this heartfelt chara about life, transition, and rediscovering ourselves in this new chapter.
Welcome to the podcast, Kim. I'm so excited.
I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for asking me, Sonia.
Yes, I love doing these chats specifically because I invited you here to do what I call my Champagne Charla, which is kind of like a happy hour. And I always invite my guests to bring something to sip on. And it started off as champagne, but today I'm having tea. What did you bring to sip on?
Yeah, I have some tea also. My pumpkin, everything.
Oh, so nice. I'm
Yeah.
having an immunity support tea. Because, it's the fall and all the things are going around right now. So,
They are, definitely.
so I invited you to chat with me today because we are kind of in the same similar phase of life right now, which is empty nesting. So, just wanted to chat about all the things. This is all new to me. I mean, I have two sons. My older son left the house years ago, but my baby just left recently. And so it's a whole different feeling and experience to be completely like an empty nester, completely alone at home. So, what has that been like for you? Why don't you share what you've been going through and, your daughter who's recently left, how many children do you have, how new you are to this feeling, experience, etc.
Absolutely. I have one. So, and thank goodness I have a dog.
Oh, that's nice.
Because I am an empty nester. It is a very different experience. I would say what's most helpful is that she was so busy because she went to community college for 3 years. I'm so glad those last 2 years, and especially that last year, she was so busy. So I'm kind of used to her not being around a lot, but that whole, like, I couldn't even go in her room for 2 weeks. It
Oh,
was
no.
so odd when she left, when she moved.
Mhm.
And I leave the door kind of cracked open and I kind of go in there just to keep the energy moving, which may sound kind of silly, but yeah, it's a strange
That to
thing.
me, it doesn't. To me, that does not sound weird at all. I think, well, I go into my son's room and open the windows and draw out the curtains to like let light in and so the energy moves. So So yeah, that does not sound weird to me at all. You and I are all about the energy.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I'm curious. You said that, I mean, she's been gone. Well, she's been so busy, right, for several years already. But having an empty room and knowing that they're not going to be walking in the door late at night, it's a completely different experience. Um, so in terms of like, what do you find yourself? How is it different for you? If you could just explain, like, to somebody who maybe hasn't gone through it yet.
Yeah. Well, it's very strange. You don't know it until you go through it. But for example, she's been sick for like, this is her fifth day. And she thought it was just kind of light and just kind of poo pooed it. And then it just kept morphing into something else and something else. And it's the strangest feeling. And to just say, I can't really help her because it's a 6 hour drive and I couldn't really bring my dog. And it's just, I mean, doing a flight and this and that, and I am going down for Parents Weekend tomorrow, but it's kind of an interesting, helpless feeling, yet at the same time, she's got to figure it out,
Ooh.
so
Yeah.
yeah, that's a biggie, right? Especially for those helicopter parents of us, her
Yeah.
generation. Yeah.
No, I like that. And that's pretty much how I felt with my oldest son when he left. It's like,
Mhm.
well, you wanted to move out. I think he moved out when he was 20. He's now 28. Yeah,
Mhm.
he's 28. So he moved out when he was 20, so a while back. And I just kind of felt like, well, there was no need for him to move out. He was still going to college at the time and he was commuting. So it's like, well, you want to be an adult. You want to be a big person, so you kind of gotta figure it out. And so that's kind of how I felt about it. And he was pretty close by, so I did still see him often. So that felt very comforting. And um, I would talk a lot, on the phone, on FaceTime. But for me, with my second son, he enlisted in the Navy, so
Mm.
I'm like completely. Someone else owns him right now,
Yeah.
and he is sick, and that is really hard, um, to, like, have him call me and tell me I've been so sick, everybody around here is sick, um, and to not be able to do absolutely anything. I couldn't even send him anything, for a while until he finally gave me the okay. He's like, "Okay, send me cough drops and hydration packs, little water hydration packs, and that's it." And I was like, "Oh my gosh!" It's just like I want to send them cookies. I want to send them a care package, and it's really tough. That's really tough. It's like somebody took my baby from me. Like somebody else owns him in his time, and that's so tough.
That is so tough. I've had actually the same, even though my daughter's at a university and you would think it would be easy, they don't not Uber Eats doesn't, none of those DoorDash, they don't go to the campus because there's one service on campus, but it's for just the on-campus food stuff. And she said it's not even that great of food. So I guess it's kind of, I don't want to say junky food, but
Right.
not nourishing food. So, and then if I send her something, the mailroom is like a big old long walk. It's not easy. So it's not even like I could, you know, deliver Target or something to her. She'd have to do a whole, because I felt the same way. I'm like, I can't really even send her cough drops or anything. It's more of a
Wow.
hassle. Yeah. Isn't that a bummer?
Wow. That
Yeah.
is a yeah, that's awful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Wow, I
know.
thought that would be easier. So
Me too.
is the Uber Eats situation, is that like a safety issue, like an on-campus safety issue or
I think what it is that and this is interesting too. Maybe this changed since COVID. I don't know. When I went to college, every like dorm, you walk in the door and they check you in and there's like a lobby and check your ID. Are you a guest? Do you live here? That. No, with her, it's just you have a card and you just go in the building. There's no like lobby. Isn't that weird?
I think.
Maybe that's the way it is everywhere. I don't
I
even know.
didn't live in dorms, and I didn't have friends that lived in dorms. I went to it was pretty much a commuter college,
Yeah.
but, I remember when we toured, and my son went to the same college, and I remember when we toured, there wasn't anybody in the lobbies. I feel like it was a self-check-in situation with cards or at that time, it was like you punch in a number or something like that. So that's that maybe it's been a while since that lobby check-in.
Well, it's been a long time since I went to college, so we won't say the number. It's been and maybe it was just the school I went to, because there were
Mhm.
only 2 or 3 dorms on campus.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Maybe it was that, but I think it's more just because, they can't get into the building,
Mm,
which makes sense.
yeah, yeah. So at what point did it, like, really hit you? Or what did hit you look like for you, that your daughter had fled the coop?
The big hit was when I walked in the door after dropping her off and driving home. Woo, the big hit. And I had gotten my dog because he was in doggy daycare, and I opened the door, and then the floodgates because I was like, "Oh,
Wow.
yeah." And then it was pretty strong for about a week. Um, and then I mean, I've been busy, and so and I know she's had a big, big, big adjustment. And in the beginning, she was trying to be strong, and then she kinda let loose, and now with this stupid frickin' illness.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, but they have parents' weekend this weekend, so I'm so excited.
That's
She's been down
exciting.
there I think at the end of this week, it'll be 6 weeks,
Mhm.
and they're on the corridor system, so it's 10 weeks.
Mhm.
So I know and it's a really good university. They do a lot of mindfulness, so they probably think, 6 weeks is a good amount of time, and
Mhm.
then the parents come in, you
Mhm.
know, and then they
Yeah.
have 4 more weeks well, I think they have 2 more weeks or 2.5 before Thanksgiving break.
Thanksgiving. Mhm.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then they go back to, like, 3 more weeks or something like that of
Oh my gosh.
I know, it's fast. It's great.
It's fast. I used to love the quarter system. I was on quarter system too, and I loved it because if I
Mm.
didn't like the class, I knew it was over in a blink of an
Yeah,
eye,
yeah.
Yeah, it goes by fast. Yeah, for me, I don't know when it hit me, but
Mm.
it felt a lot like grief for me.
Yeah.
It just I couldn't even pinpoint one thing that would just, like, made me lose my marbles. Like, it's just been, like, all of it out of nowhere. It's like this grief came through, and I just started crying, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this feels like when I lost my dad." That's the only thing I could compare it to because, I mean, I've had other losses in my life, but none as close as my father, and this felt like that kinda grief, like, it would just hit me out of nowhere. I all of a sudden, I just this overwhelming sadness would just come over me while I was working or while I was, you know, with my boyfriend. We were out to dinner and we'd start talking about him, and I just, it would come out of nowhere. I was like, "Oh, okay. I just need to let this get through." I just need to feel these emotions and just like let it run through. I remember one time I think we were preparing dinner, my boyfriend and I, and out of nowhere, I just said, "I don't know why I'm feeling so emotional." And he just turned around and looked at me like, "What just happened?" I said, and I couldn't help but to laugh because he just like looked at me like, "What in the world?" And I just said, "Just let me have my moment. Don't worry, you don't have to do anything.
Oh, wow. And
Just
you know
stand
what?
there."
You have a great analogy because I actually kind of forgot about that till you brought it up. I had the same feeling, when my mom since my mom passed, and I have a business coach I'm working with now, and I said somatic coach, and I said, "Hey, Christy," I go, "Oh my gosh, I don't even know what's wrong with me." I go, "I haven't felt this horrible or so sad, deep, deep grief since my mom passed." And I think I even left you a message one time because you helped me with stuff, and I was like, "Sonia, I'm so sorry. I know you need deliverables, but I'm just a mess." That was
Yeah.
the first week. Yeah, it was deep. And, it's so crazy because I am so excited to see her tomorrow. Like, just it's beyond, beyond, beyond. I mean, I'm bringing little things, but I'm not bringing too much because, she doesn't have much space in the dorms and I don't want to overwhelm. And it's also interesting because I told her, at first she was like, no, no, I'm going to be busy. I'm going to be busy, 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 busy. And now she's like, oh, Mom, well, you can be here for this and we can do that. And you can come with me to class, but you can wait there. And then we can walk to this after. So,
Oh,
right. And
that's
she,
funny.
and she super appreciates now when I used to do her laundry all the time because that's a whole nother thing. The
Oh,
laundry.
sure.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. That's a good point. I haven't even asked my son about that. But then I don't have much of a chance to talk to him. So
Mm,
it's so hard. Oh, I
yeah.
just it's like the very first call I got from him was when he landed in at base camp, at boot camp base where he's at, and he was allowed a 1-minute call, and it was a script that was I imagine on the wall because I started watching that series Boot Camp or Boots on Netflix, and that's what they were doing. They were reading a script off the wall. I said, that's what he did because he was just like, Mom, I made it here. I am safe. You won't hear from me for 2 weeks, and you'll start to get letters in 3 weeks. I love you. And that was it. And I was like, wait, I'm not done. And that was it. And then I think I got a call in 2 weeks later on a Saturday, and he was allowed a 15-minute call, but he was calling me and his dad. So I got like 5 or 6 minutes, and that was it. And so he gave me his address and just a little bit of information. And then a week later, it was an hour. He got an hour. So I got 15 minutes. I think he called his dad and then he called his brother as well. And then the following weekend, there was no call.
Mm.
It was just a text. And he's like, I'm not allowed to call this week. I'm just allowed to send you this text. And it was just his address again. And I thought, okay, it's just so random. It's just so random and it's so hard. He just feels so distant.
Mm.
And when he left, he was in this place where he's like, Mom, I don't want you to go to graduation. It's not that big of a deal. Let's just save the celebration for like when I just really make it through like my program. And I just was really like heartbroken about it, really upset about it. But now he's changed his mind. So for now, I can relate to your daughter being like, "Oh, you could come here, you could wait for me here, you could do this." Like I kind of feel like, okay, now he's had a chance to like miss home and
Mm.
maybe appreciate a little bit more. And he's like, "Okay, yeah, you can, they have to approve us and they have to do background checks and the whole 9 yards and he has to approve who could come." So he's like, "I'll approve you." Yeah, I'm like, I submitted my application. So he's like, "Okay, I'll approve you." It's like, "Okay, well, that's sweet." So I'll get to see him. So I'll go and spend like 2 days there, and that's it. And then I don't know what happens after. It's so up in the air for me. That's what's so hard. I don't even know if he gets to come home for a few days after graduation. So I spoke to him on Friday or Sunday, and he's like, "Okay, you're gonna get a call from me on the 21st, on the 26th, and December 3rd." I was like, "Okay, that's
Then
it."
what? Yeah.
It's so hard. But
Wow.
anyways, so
When is graduation?
graduation is first week of December.
Mhm.
So a day after his birthday.
Hmm.
So yeah. So we'll get to see him then. So but I wanted to like talk to you about what is it? Are you finding it hard to like find things to do, or like what are you doing with your time? Has it been hard to have more free time, or does it feel like a freer sense, or what has that been like?
Well, it's kinda interesting. At first, it was like, just kinda getting things back in order. Like I said, I didn't go in her room for 2 weeks, and then I went in because it was a disaster. So I did her laundry, cleaned the sheets, tidied up her room,
I did
and
the
and I
same
do go
thing.
in I open the windows, keep the door ajar just to keep the energy moving because I don't want it to be all dead in there. Um, I just kinda process the grief and just kinda and I've been kinda going within, so it's not like I've kinda retreated a bit. It's not like I'm, like, going out with a ton of friends or, "Woo, let's go whip it up." I haven't been doing that. I've been kinda more going within and just doing a lot of super deep work, and now that she's not here, I did it when she was here, but I don't have to worry about, like, if I'm on a Zoom and I'm healing that inner child and, you know, and she's what, 100 feet away or something, like, "Mom, are you okay?" when I come off my Zoom. So just kinda really ripping off just continuing to do that super deep
Mhm. Yeah.
and just kind of really kinda getting to know who I am again and continuing to I think I've done a lot of deep, deep healing, but just to say, "Who am I and what is this next chapter?" You know? I think somebody was saying, "Oh, isn't that so odd? Like, they moved out and they'll never be back." I can't imagine her never coming back. I I that's not a possibility for me. I'm
I'm
always
putting that in the universe.
that is not a she will always have her people are like, "So, Kim, are you gonna move? Are you gonna move? Are you gonna get a roommate?" I'm like, "No, I'm not gonna move. I'm gonna keep this place until she graduates." Nope. Yeah.
Wow, interesting because, um, yeah, I had the same thought. I mean, I started thinking about, well, am I gonna move? Because it is very likely for me, my situation, that he's never coming back. Like, he might come back for a couple days. I mean,
Yeah.
and he even told me that. He's like, "Mom, I'm off." I mean, he lives there
Ugh,
for 6 years. So, well, what am I gonna do? Wait around for him for 6 years to see if maybe he'll come back to his room as a 30-year-old man? That's awkward. So I'm like, "Okay, what am I gonna do?" Am I gonna get a roommate, or do I just make my office in his room, or do I, move, or like, I don't, I was putting so much pressure on myself, like, okay, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? And I thought finally, I said, you know what? Just stop. Just let time run its course. Like, let the body first get adjusted to what's happening, my nervous system. And I love that you said that you're going within, because that's what I'm doing. And I'm usually very busy, and I am. I was just traveling for a week, and I've got work and clients, and I love to travel. But I also have been finding that I'm retreating more, even when I do have things to do or people around to go out to dinner with or whatever. I am finding that I just want to be home. Like, I just want to not do nothing. And I've been doing a lot of journaling and meditating and calling in my spirit guides, and, that trying to spend time in nature when I can. And so I can totally relate to that.
Yeah.
And I do know what my next chapter looks like. I mean, I'm busy with my work and my businesses, right? So I know what that looks like. I guess it would be what my home life looks like.
Mm.
And so I'm just gonna let that play out, So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Because if you're not in a rush or anything, I mean, in the scheme of things, 6 months is really not that long.
Yeah, no, 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 no.
When you kinda put it in that, but like, "Oh, maybe I'll just" 'cause, she'll end in June, I don't know when, maybe 1st, 2nd week of June. And then summer, I mean, she'd probably love to have an internship, but that could be somewhere else. It could be at the university, who knows? She's in this field of science, so
Mhm.
I don't know. I mean, I think she'd love to come but who knows?
Right? that's what's so hard. It's like, well, it's all kind of up in the air
Yeah.
now. And it's like, when he first left, I mean, he's only been gone. This is his 5th week. And I just kind of kept thinking, well, maybe I'll just like leave the room. I did the same thing. I went, opened the windows, I walked in there, and I was like, okay, as much as he tidied up, it still needed some help. And so I kind of tidied things up and cleaned all the sheets and yeah, all the things. Um, it just felt like I was cleaning for like 3 days. The whole house. Well, because he had a dog that lived
Mm.
with us, and then the dog went to live with, his dad because I travel too much. I can't have him. And so it was kinda cleaning up everything from the dog, the hair and just tidying, that just oh, sorry, but it's a lot for me. I did not grow up with dogs, so it was a constant trying to keep up with the hair. And so I spent like 3 days probably cleaning, vacuuming, changing out filters, like all of that. And it just felt like the hair would just never end. And finally, I think it's under control. Um, but yeah, I just kind of thought, oh, I'm just gonna leave it nice and tidied up for, his desk was sit out with his computer and his gaming screen and everything. And my older son's like, well, are you gonna make that your office now? Because my office is kind of like in the foyer area, and which is it's cute. It's set up really cute. Um, but I really would always wanted a
Speaking
dedicated
of dogs,
office.
sorry, we have a guest appearance here.
He's like, "You're talking about dogs."
Anybody watching on YouTube, and if you hear some noises, he's sensing it. Yeah, he's a little
So
upset. You're talking about dogs. Now this guy, oh my gosh. Okay, stop. I'm so sorry.
no,
This is Shadow. He doesn't shed. He's got real hair. He's a
no.
Portuguese water dog, and he's kind of human.
Oh,
He hears our conversation. Hmm?
how does he does he sense that your
Oh
dog is
yeah.
gone? Yeah,
Oh yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
he totally. Do you know that we're talking about Caitlin? Is that what's going on? He's super
Oh my gosh,
sensitive.
are you talking about Caitlin and dogs?
I know. Isn't that
Talk
so
about
funny?
me.
Oh my gosh, I am so sorry. But anyway,
No, no,
yeah,
nothing at
no, the
all.
whole dog thing. I mean, yeah, so this guy, he just gets groomed like we go get groomed. Yeah,
That's true.
seriously, he's got real hair, so he's got to get cut and he doesn't, shed, which is nice, but he's really smart, like
Mm.
smarter than I am. And kind of
Mm.
taking over the show right now. Yeah, you're
Oh,
just
good.
he's been a little bit of a fuss bucket, but it's been yeah. I won't kid you. It has definitely been quite the adjustment. Quite the adjustment. Yeah,
Mm.
it's like never ending, right? Just oh my God, here's a biggie: groceries.
Okay.
I'm probably spending 1/5. At first, I thought definitely 1/4
I know.
and going out because I was more busy, and I'd be like, I was just too tired to cook. So I'm like, okay, what do you want? Last minute. And then at the end, it's like, oh, well, let's splurge on this, let's splurge on that. Cause you're gonna be
Be
gone.
gone.
And now, I mean, like I probably go out for maybe 2 coffees a month now. I mean, I did that a lot more and just I
Yeah.
mean, yeah. How about you? Isn't your grocery bill gone way down? Mine
Yeah,
has.
it has. It's a little bit hard because I've been traveling,
Mm.
so it's been a little bit hard to gauge, but I think the next 2 months will really give me a good insight. I do think that my trips are probably half the price. So I think I'm at
Oh.
about half. It might actually end up being more of a discount in the next month or 2. It's just that when he left, I had just gotten back from being away to Europe,
Mm.
for a couple weeks. I was gone. So when I came and when I left everything stocked up with a ton of food for him. And then of course I got back and he was shipping out the next day.
Mm.
And that just happened because they moved up his ship date. Like I had vacation schedules from earlier in the year before he even enlisted. And then his ship date wasn't going to be for, they moved up his ship date by like over a month. It would have
Wow.
been, but then like, thank God it was like, I came home and then the next day I drove him down to the base and he left. So at least I got to drive him there and see him before I left. So that was very kind of abrupt for me and hard. But like I said, when I came back, I went and took him, to deliver him to the government.
That's exactly what it is, to deliver him to
I
the
went to
government.
deliver
Okay.
him,
Oh
and then
gosh.
I went shopping to like restock everything.
Yeah.
And it was still not as much, but pretty close
Oh.
still because I felt like I had to get everything again. I had to restock everything because he was gone, or he had he had eaten everything. So I had to kind of restock. So it was almost the same. And then again, I was gone for a week, last week. So then, I haven't been home. So I still haven't been home. Anyways, I've been like a couple times only since he left.
Mm.
And it's been about one time it was almost the same, and the second time it was about half. So I think that might I get adjusted.
Okay. And
But
the other, my gas bill's gone way, way down.
like
Oh
your
my
car
gosh.
gas bill?
Yes.
Really?
Oh yeah. Because well, she had a car and then we returned it because she won't need it down there at university. But yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
way
Well, yeah.
down.
That makes
Way.
sense.
I'm not driving as much or driving her or driving
Yeah.
us or putting gas in her car and,
Yeah.
I mean, she had a
Oh yeah.
job, but she didn't make much money, so I'd
Yeah.
fill her tank.
Yeah, I didn't do that. I didn't do that. He had his own car and he got his own gas. So that for me hasn't changed. What I thought would change would be like the gas and the electric bill in the house. And um it had been so hot, and then I left to, Europe. So of course he had the place blasting with the AC and God knows what. So my bill was crazy. As is pretty normal. So when he left, I thought, oh, my bill's gonna come down now. And then I was gone for a week last week, and I turned everything off when I left, thinking, oh my gosh, a whole week with nothing on. Well, apparently I didn't turn it off.
Oh,
So the AC was running the entire time I was gone. So I was like, oh. So, anyways, I am looking forward to eventually that bill coming down too. I'm telling you, I haven't quite caught a break yet.
you will. You'll get a break. It's just right around the corner. Just right around the corner.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, no, it's I sent her a care package. Gosh, when was it? It was in the beginning of October. And she didn't even get it right away. She's so funny. She's like, "Oh, mom, there's long lines for the packages." There was, oh, I know what it was. She wanted some notebook. It was a biochem or something from when she was at community college.
Oh,
Oh, yeah,
okay.
if you could send me that. And then I added a bunch of fun things, popcorn, just
Mhm.
some Halloween stuff. But it took her like a week to get the frickin' thing. I'm like, okay, sure, I'm glad I
Yeah,
raced to the post office to send
yeah,
that to you, but okay, well, there you go. And then, did a nice note and she was excited when she got it. And then also I gave to her when I dropped her off was it's like a box with different notes. They call it like college survival. Have you ever
really
seen that? Yeah.
cute.
Yeah, it's kind of cute. You could probably send one to your son. And it's basically different letters. So it's like after you have your first exam, when you're feeling sick, when you're feeling homesick, you want to go get an ice cream. And then I did personal notes on
That's so
each.
cute.
Yeah, I didn't handwrite them because I would have been exhausted and I could get more. And then I just cut them out and put them in. And then some I put cash or gift cards and it's so funny, it was like I think she did it the first week, maybe the second. I think she's forgetting that it's even there because it's like
Isn't that
I
amazing?
spent
Like
so much.
we go through all this stuff, all these thinking up of ways of like being present in their lives and making things. I don't know, beautiful,
Easy.
wonderful, easy, and they just kind of
Poo-poo it. I know. I know. And I thought, maybe this was more therapeutic for me to do all this than for her, because I actually felt it was like a purge. I felt like really good. Like I was like, "Okay, it's all complete and beautiful for her when I send her off." She's probably there's like 30 cards, she's only opened 5. It's like, "You can do 2 a week, no more than 2 a week." I'm like, "Okay,
So
whatever,"
cute. That's cute.
but
Well, writing letters is all I can do.
mm,
So I think I've written 2 letters by hand, which was actually a very beautiful experience,
mm,
like therapeutic. So, my gosh, who writes by hand anymore? And that was beautiful. That was really nice. I did enjoy that. But they have a service, um, an app that we can use to send them letters. When I write a letter, it takes a week and a half to get there.
oh, wow.
So by the time it gets there and I guess it gets processed or whatever needs to happen, it takes about a week and a half for him to receive it. And same for the letters that are coming from him. I think a week, yeah, a week and a half, about 10 days. But they have this app where if I submit a letter and it's typed, if I submit it by 4:30 today, he'll get it tomorrow. So that's kind of a nice option if there's something like important that I need to deliver or, I still get like his car registration and there was something else. There were a couple of things that came in the mail. I'm like, hey, like this needs attention. What now? We didn't talk about this. It's just like, so that kind of thing I wanted him to know right away. And then the other thing is, you and I are, witchy sisters.
Mhm.
We are all into the woo woo and we call in our spirit guides and we channel for each other and do all that fun stuff. Um, so I he called me and he shared something with me on Sunday and I just kind of something that he's having a hard time with. And I just like prayed on it and meditated on it because how can I cannot let it affect me. I'm his mother, It's like it's hard for me to just like let it go and not think about it and not let it affect me. So I was meditating on it and I called in my spirit guides and I was not that I was asking for a solution, but I just called them in to ask what I needed to know that particular it was a morning. I think it was the following morning, Monday morning, as a matter of fact,
Mm.
after I spoke with him. So I called in my spirit guides and my meditation in the morning, and I was just like, "What do I need to know today? What do you need me to know?" And I called in specifically. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna start crying. Ooh.
Oh,
Mm.
it's
I
okay. Go
called
ahead and
in.
cry.
I called in specifically Mother Mary
Mhm.
and Isis. And I don't know why Isis. I don't know her story and I don't really know a lot about her, but I've been hearing a lot about her. And for some reason I felt like I'm gonna call in Isis. And so I called them in and my spirit guides and I said to Mother Mary as a mother, what do I need to know? Because my son is going through a tough time and there's nothing I can do nor that I need to do. So how do I handle this? What do I need to know? And it was so beautiful. I went into this whole um automatic writing experience
Mhm.
and there was a message for him. And it was so beautiful. It was just so touching, and immediately I got on that app. I had just sent a letter 2 days earlier, and I got on that app. It was first thing in the morning, and I was like, "Oh, if I send it right now, he'll get it tomorrow." And I just typed it up, and I just sent, "This is listen, I was in meditation, and this is a message for you." And I just, like, gave it to him, so he must have received it yesterday. And so it's nice to have that
Mm.
option to, like, okay, he will get this message tomorrow. I'm fine if I don't get a letter for 10 days. I'm fine if I won't be fine if I don't get a letter at all, but it's not about me. So, he needed to get this message, so that was really comforting to know. And so that was a beautiful experience. But what came up for me afterwards, I said, "Oh wow, thank you, Mother Mary, for coming and guiding me." But then I'm like, okay, who really is Isis? And she was a mother too. She was a mother. She was a goddess. And I was like, oh my God, this is why. So intuitively, like I had this urge to call her in. And anyways,
Mhm.
I'm
That's so beautiful.
I'm wondering if for you, so all that to say that I feel like I am getting more in touch with myself. I'm going inward more. I don't know. So I'm one. So, and I know you've already said that you are going inward more.
Mm.
And we both know that when we're in the silence, when we're in the pause, when we're in the present moment, we are able to more hear the messages that are meant for us. Our intuition can expand because we're more present or we're quiet and we can actually hear more. Do you find that that has been your experience?
Absolutely, absolutely, and just a little disclaimer, if you hear my dog whining over there,
We don't hear that.
he has not adjusted to daylight savings, by the way. It's probably maybe 3 o'clock, and so he thinks it's still 4 because that's when he starts whining, so I apologize if you hear him. Okay, good.
Don't hear them.
It's just that parent thing. It's that motherly, like, but
Hmm.
so absolutely, absolutely. Since she's been gone and I've just been going more and more within and the silence, it's such an interesting, my therapist, because I was like, oh, when I was the week I was going to drop her off, I said, oh, here I am crying. Matt, can you give me any last minute tips? What can I do? And he's like, Kim, just know this. And he goes, just be there, be present. It's all going to go well. And just know that when she comes back, you're going to have a different relationship. She's going to be a full blown woman and it's going to be that much better. And I know that. I know that. But it's still a little tricky and it's hard. I mean, I can communicate with her more than with you and your son. But there was a while, I mean, I just kind of said, I'll text her in the morning and I'll text her at night, good morning, I love you. I do voice memos. And she was new to that because we didn't really used to do that. And in the beginning, I think she was all, now she loves them.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But it's a different type of surrender, isn't it? It's such I mean, I've surrendered a lot in a lot of things, especially in the last 2 years, but
Mhm.
this surrender is like they're on their own, and it's such an interesting place. And yeah, from the woo-woo, I'll say, "Caitlin, I'm holding the space for you. I'm the backdrop for you," or whatever. I'm holding, if you need it. And that's the way I kind of look at it from a visual standpoint, that I'm holding the space for her to expand and learn and tumble, if that kind of makes sense. And then it's
Yeah.
not so helpless of
Mhm.
a feeling.
Yeah. Wow. I love that. I love that. Just holding the space. Very cool.
Mhm. Yeah, kind of
Mm.
like an energetic space for them to expand and grow and tumble, and because that's all part of it too. I mean, it was so funny. I'm in a couple different communities, and one, we were in an online like breakout, and we were all talking. We all had children that were either, I think they were all in college. There were 4 of us, and they were all like 20 to 21, and my daughter's 21, or maybe 20, 22. All of them had issues doing laundry. They're that
Oh,
generation. They're they're
oh,
the generation
oh, like
of,
the kids?
yeah,
Yeah.
all of them. They're like, "Oh,
Oh,
yeah, they didn't do the." Well, honestly, it's so hard to get into a good college, like, now, so, I mean, I had to help facilitate her to do all that because I don't know if she would have gotten it.
mm.
So, parents know that, and they do all that much more stuff to help with their kids, because it's so difficult just to get into the colleges now, but
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that makes sense. I have no idea what's going on with the laundry. I think they probably do it for him, for my son. I don't know how that all works. So that'll
I
be
think they
interesting.
I think they do. I think they do. I think they get like a pillowcase or something that has their name, and they don't have much, right?
No, no,
It's
they
like
don't.
all
That's right.
government issued, right?
Right. And that, yeah, he left with a backpack that was almost empty. And I was like, well, what can you take? Like really not much, mom. And there's just really not much I can send them. He's like, please don't send anything, mom. That like I don't have room to put it. Like I have nowhere to put it. Like don't send anything. And so like when I sent the cough drops, like, well, I bought this little thing of drops. It's like little, it's like a natural thing. It's like be propolis and it's like good for your throat. It's little. He's like, okay, mom, fine. He's like, but nothing more. I don't have space. I'm like, okay. So,
He might also be embarrassed because he might be thinking that they, well, not embarrassed, but thinking that they might confiscate it. Like
well,
it's
yeah, they
who
might do
knows?
that too. There's, I just read so many different things online because when he asked for this stuff, I was about to send it, and then I looked online, at the Navy website, and they're like, "Don't send anything. It's gonna get confiscated. He's gonna get in trouble." I was like, "Oh my god." So I held on to it for a while, I think for a week until I talked to him again. I'm like, "Hey, I got the stuff, but I read this and this and that." And he's like, "No, no, no. I got permission. You can send it." I'm like, "Okay." And so then I just spoke with him. He's like, "Yes, I'm almost out of cough drops. I got the package." I'm like, "Okay." But he's like, "I just don't have much room." He's like, "So in 2 weeks, can you have a package delivered with more cough drops and more hydration packs?" I was like, "Okay, in 2 weeks." Got it.
Oh my
So
goodness. Which branch is he?
he's in the Navy.
Yeah, my dad was in the Navy.
Yeah.
Yeah, my
Oh.
dad was in the Navy, and they do the DAR, the Daughters of the American Revolution. I'm part of that, my sisters and everybody. And so one thing that's really nice they do is they do the wreaths on the grave sites because
Mm.
my dad passed. I guess it was. I have to think about this. I'm not even really sure. I think it was 3 years ago. 3 years
Oh,
ago, I
wow.
think so. Two, no, maybe it was no, it was 2 years ago. So he's in a you know is it a military cemetery? I don't know what you call it, but yeah, I have to tell you, boy, they do take care of them. And he was also in the Navy. He was an officer,
Mhm.
and they do take care of him. Like his funeral was, it was amazing. I mean, they did like the whole everything.
Oh,
And
so
his spirit was there because it was wild. I mean, we didn't time it or anything, but I was there with my family, and there was a flyover. We were like, "Oh my God, that was my dad." Yeah. Isn't that right? Isn't that wild? There was like a military flyover right at the time when we were going up and doing the service by his site.
oh, wow.
But it's beautiful. I mean, I guess I say that because, well, not that, but specifically that they do recognize that, you know, they're serving the country. I mean, I know you're saying they sign them over to the government, but there are so many amazing, amazing
Oh,
benefits. Like
oh, yeah.
just they really do take care of them, and you don't necessarily have to become an officer for that. There's just so many, like if he wants to buy a house, they have that thing is amazing.
Mhm.
My sister's husband, he's a vet from the Vietnam War, and they've used that, loan thing a couple times. There's USAA. I get to have that because my dad was in it, which is, I don't remember what it stands for, but it's if you're in the military, and they have all kinds of great banking. That's
Mm.
amazing. And
Mhm.
insurance. Yeah.
That's
So
good. Yeah, and I know that. I know that they have a lot of benefits for him. I think it was actually a really, really good thing for him. I was
yeah.
very, very proud, that
Mm.
he did that and just yeah, I'm really proud of him. Really, really proud and just whew, I know it's gonna be really good for him and
Yeah. And it's
it'll
so
be
beautiful he made that decision on his own because
yeah,
it sounds like he did. He made that
he
decision
did.
on his own, and
Mhm.
just, so beautiful to go and want to serve the country. It's really actually pretty special because not many people want to do that now, and they poo-poo our country, and our country's beautiful. I mean, there's always been screwy things with this country and
Yeah.
any country. I mean,
Of course,
that's just the way it is. We're
of
we're
course,
we're
yeah,
doing the human experience. We're not we're
right.
still here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's a lot around that comes up for sure. There's what I know that I've talked about it on my podcast and just things that are happening, politically in our country and how hard and difficult it's been for my community to watch it happen. But this is still my country. I was
Mhm.
still born here. My sons were born here. I'm a daughter of an immigrant, a daughter of two immigrants, and it's just a lot of emotions come up, but I cannot help but to feel really proud that
Mhm.
he's chosen to do this for our country. And of course, I love this country, and it's just a mixed bag of emotions with all the things that are happening. But this really, I can't help but to I don't want to say it sways me, but it created a shift in me, to with aside from everything that's going on, that this is still a wonderful country. I mean, my gosh, it just, yeah, just
Yeah, no, I get
really,
it.
really proud of him. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Well, and
it's to express all the things, all the emotions going through, but I just
mm,
know that, um, I'm just really, really proud, and he shifted something in me, and
yeah.
maybe it didn't happen that way.
Mm,
Maybe it's been the perfect timing too. So
yeah. And sometimes, some certain souls here, that super, super structure really works for them, you know? And
I
it's
think,
actually kind of medicinal
mm,
because the lines are right there. Like here I am, I'm in the line, and if I'm in the lines, I'm doing okay. Or
mm,
sometimes they just need that for that 2 to 6 years and they get out and they're fine. They just
mhm.
needed that for that, that could be a stepping stone to something else.
Yeah,
But
I feel in my heart that, this is not a short-term thing for him. That's what I feel in my heart, but who knows, right? It'll be interesting to kinda see the path unfold. I think either way, I think it's an incredible experience for him.
yeah, so wow, that's
Yeah.
wild. Wow, so
So
good.
so
Isn't
I
this
know it.
Isn't this so funny? I just have to tell you, spirit guides and this and that. I just had USAA call me right now. That's why
You
I don't
what?
li so USAA is
Oh,
isn't that so funny? And they just I don't even know why they called me. I don't even know. But
that's
anyway,
funny.
I'll call them back, but isn't that funny?
That's cute. That's cute. There are no coincidences.
There are no coincidences. I loved our conversation. Thanks so
Me
much for
too.
asking.
And I know our time is coming to an end. I want to respect your time. We can always come back on another day and
Yeah.
continue the conversation because we're only 1 month in as empty nesters. So I'm sure there's a lot more that's going to come up for us. But I just wanted to ask you if there's one piece of advice you would have for other women out there who are about to become empty nesters or who are on the same journey, what would you advise?
Well, when you're about to become an empty nester, what worked for me is I did stay home because I wanted to enjoy every waking moment. Even if she wasn't home, I stayed home. I didn't really do much. So enjoy and savor all those last moments. And then just I kind of like what you and I did, which is go within and reflect after they leave and really get to know who you are. Because a lot of times, our kids, we find our identity in our kids because we put so much into them.
That's
And I think that might be why it's so difficult. So, journal, go within, get quiet, and really get to know yourself again.
Thank you, Kim. I really appreciate that. And that is so true, especially as women, so much of our identity is tied to being caregivers and to our children. So I couldn't have said it any better. So Kim, I know in the intro I introduced who you are and a little bit about what you do, but why don't you share, what you do real quick and how people can work with you and all
Oh,
your beautiful gifts.
Oh, thank you so much. I love that, Sonia. Well, I also have a podcast, The Light Keeper's Path, and I basically talk about, well, not all things woo, but it ends up being woo. It's about my healing journey and just for souls finding their inner light in the storm. And that can be in illness or just circumstances aren't so great and it's dark. So I just talk a little bit about my journey and the tools that help me and bring on guests. And then I'm also an energy healer. So I work with clients one on one, pretty much over Zoom. And I can hold a container for them or a one time session and do body, mind, spirit energy healing. So, yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Thank you for sharing. And one of the beautiful things that you do when you're doing energy healing is also you are able to channel. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much. Yeah. So I just what I do is I get what the and everybody has their own when they channel. Like some people are like, "Oh, well, what does my spirit guide look like? What's he saying? What's his?"
Mhm.
I just get the messages. So they
Yeah.
just come through whatever they are, and that's kind of how I operate, which is, when you're first starting to doing this, you're like, "Oh, I'm not like that person," but that's just kind of my flavor. Everybody's got their own flavor. But thanks for asking, Sonia. You're so
Yes,
great.
of
Yeah,
course,
I
you're
appreciate
welcome.
that.
Thank you. Thank you so much for making the time to come, and
Yeah.
it's so fun to connect with somebody, and it was so, so nice to have you there as a support system going through this, and you have been wonderful. You have been so, I always say there are no coincidences, and you always seem to reach out right when I need it. There was
Oh.
one time in particular, right, that we were supposed to meet in a community and it had been canceled that day, and you were like, "Oh, wait, do you wanna just us meet?" Because I had the time already, and it was so much what I needed that particular day,
Mm.
and I connected and just had our own little chat one-on-one, and it was thank you, thank you.
Oh,
I was having a hard time that day in our chat about our children, and becoming empty nesters was so helpful, and that sparked this conversation. So,
yeah,
thank you.
absolutely. Oh, thank you, Sonia. You're amazing. I love you too.
Right. All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we'll talk to you soon.